And we are live. Welcome to the stream, guys. We'll wait till some people get in here. Let's see who it's going to be. I'm going to guess Dexter. Is it going to be Dexter? Dexter, Murder Inc., or yourself? Yep. Bam. I was narrowing it down. It's yourself. And the Wyatt Live coming in at number 2. What's up, fellas? What are you guys doing on your Saturday? Taking the gold. Taking the gold. It sounds like a song. Taking the gold. Taking the gold. Oh, man. Went fishing and mushroom hunting today. Did you catch anything of both? Worked all mom for me. Morn? Oh, that's Morn. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, what is he trying to say? No work tonight though. No mushrooms. But we caught fish nonstop for like 2 hours. Nice, bro. What type of fish did you get? I've been wanting to go fishing a lot recently. Like I've been fiending to go, and it's coming. It's it's coming up. It's coming up. Kayaks are gonna start coming out. We're gonna start planning weekends to do fishing trips and stuff like that. I'm super looking forward to doing that. I haven't gone fishing in a while, and I really enjoy fishing. I just hadn't gone because I just didn't really have the time, and nobody wanted to go. I didn't feel like fishing by myself. I like fishing and having some beers and hanging out with my buddies and seeing if we can't fish stuff. Plus, when I say I caught a fish this big, I got somebody there to back me up. Bass, bluegill, and one surprise huge black crappie. Oh man. I already know how to fly fish. I can. I've already. I learned how to fly fish while I was in Alaska. Like I'm not saying like I'm any um, shadow cast and a river runs through it type of fly fisherman, but I can make it work. I can get. I'd have to practice a little bit more. I haven't done it in years, but I used to be able to get it exactly where I wanted it to. I only caught one fish ever in my life on a fly fish. It was a trout, and it was in Alaska. And I was just in Alaska, where I was fishing at. It was very hard to have a place to fly fish on a lot of because we're in the back thick of woods, finding off-roading trails that only my Jeep can get to find these lakes to go fishing. Stuff that's like an hour of hard wheeling to get to is what me and my buddy Buck, Eric Buck from Cincinnati. He would go. He was my fishing buddy, but we were going to some pretty far out there places. Just us two Awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, you were so packed in and pushing through brush and trees in your way and stuff, and nothing's cut or anything like that. So, but you don't have to worry about snakes in Alaska. Hey, Florida, what's up? Um, we'd get in there. We'd get in there and you couldn't use a fly fishing rod. Like you had no room. So I mean, a lot of times Buck's the one who taught me how to do like a little flip cast. Because I use the I don't even know the terminology of it. It's not a bait caster. I guess it's a spin caster. You take the little guard, move it to the side, cast it, and you flick it back over, and then it reels in. I don't even know the name for it. That's the kind of reels that I use. But I just never got into like all the fishing guys around here. They all know the like Murder Inc. talks about. He goes, "Yeah, just tell him you got him on a woolly burger on a 3-inch flop cast, stuff like that. Just making up crap as you go." I never got into that. Hey, what's up, Fly Fishing Ninja? See, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know the terminology enough. I can't speak on it. Susan, good morning, good evening for us. Um, but it was he taught me this little cast, and it's just a oh man, you can get maybe at most 10 or 12 feet at it if you get a good cast on it. If you get good at it, it was just you just flip it, you drop your bait off the end of your pole about a foot, and you just swing it around and throw it, kind of like you're I don't know throwing a bolo or something. And you would get 12 feet out of it. And sometimes 12 feet's all you needed in Alaska. Sometimes 12 feet's all you needed was in Alaska. You get it out there 12 feet, you'll get a fish. It was yeah, see, like most I mean, like like I never got into name brands of reels or anything like that. For me, I always got a reel that I could afford at the time and that didn't make a bunch of noise when I tried it out at Bass Pro Shop or something. And then I always went with Ugly Sticks is like the only brand I ever really used, only because I'm so frugal and a cheap ass that if I break it, they will send me a new one. It's got a lifetime warranty. I bought my first Ugly Stick in '03 in Alaska, and it's sitting right here in the corner right now. Like I hold on. Like I've had this Shakespeare Ugly Stick all scratched up and marred. Scratched up and marred. Look, I mean, I've got chunks missing out of the grips. I've had this thing since '03, and it's just I don't know, about a 6 foot rod. I've had it since '03, and it's never failed me. It's never broke. Man, I took this thing on kayak fishing trips, like down through some hard creeks, and you put it in the you put it in the rod holder that my kayak has, and it sits out back really tall. I've had the lure get caught in trees and stop my kayak from running forward because I didn't know that it was hooked. Like I wasn't paying attention. And it's actually held my kayak against a slow moving creek, and it's never broke. I think I got my money's worth for paying like 47 or $48 with it back in '03. Yeah, and it's still going strong. And I love taking it. I still fish with it. Like if I go fishing this year, which I'm really hoping to do a whole bunch of, I'm taking that. Like it's perfect. It fits everywhere I take it. I've never had to I've never had it hooked into something that's even been close to me worrying about breaking it. And I fished everything with it. I love that rod. That's why I got ugly sticks. I'm just cheap. I guess frugal is the more positive term. Yeah. Do they make now Florida now Pirate? Do you do like shore fishing and stuff being down in Florida? Is that a big thing, or do you? Oh, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it there, Ninja. I'll catch it though. I always get around to it, man. Usually, usually I watch people's video and you just see that people are like 30 views, 5 upvotes. Listen, man, if I'm there and I'm viewing you, I always hit that upvote. Lakes, rivers, and oceans. Okay. Like, do they have? I think Ugly Stick makes shore rods, right? Like, I never. I always see like deep sea fishing or shore rigs, and I never hear anybody talk about Ugly Sticks when they're talking about it. They talk about like, oh, I couldn't even name you shore rods. Some of you fishermen, what's some shore rods that have a big name? Like, I know Ninja talks about Tankaras a lot in the fly fishing rod thing, but there's some shore rods that you guys like. I don't even know that stuff. I don't. If I went to on the shore, if I went on the shore, I would take that rod and I would just try to make it work. Yeah, paintballing was fun, man. Dude, paintballing. When I was growing up, we got into paintball so hard that there was a couple times that I had to ride the school bus when I could drive because I didn't have enough money to put in my gas tank because I was spending it playing paintball. Like, blows my mind. Blows my mind. Man, yeah, that was awesome, Ryan. We love it. I use the cheap rods myself. I mean, I don't think ugly sticks are cheap. I just don't think they're talked about a lot. All right, have fun at school, Susan. Yeah, Cass King. Like, I've never heard those names. I know like Shakespeare, Abu Garcia, and I always think Abu Garcia is more geared around the salt fishing, the saltwater fishing community. Shakespeare. Uh, yeah, I don't know the terms. I don't know the terms and the names and the titles and stuff. I don't. It's not where my focus is, I guess. They are with the bass community. Are you saying Abu Garcia is with the bass community, Pirate? Well, I remember we loved paintball. Thought we were so hard when we were in middle school. My dad was in the army, schooled us one day, shot us all up at paintballs, showed us what was up. Man, I used to play paintball hard. We used to play we used to play this game. We had built like we had a lot of woods. Like I grew up on 58 acres of woods. So we had four-wheeler trails and paintball stuff and all the surrounding farms that were around us, all we worked and helped them and we all knew each other, so we had free range on their property as long as we weren't tearing shit up, as long as we had like four-wheeler trails. Like we could go for, man, before we could drive, I mean a 13, 14 year old could go 15 miles from your house, not even, sorry, 10 miles. You could ride 10 miles but not touch any pavement on a four-wheeler because of all the surrounding communities allowed us to have trails that we had to stick to. We couldn't like go off the trails so that we could travel and not get in trouble and see other farmers. Like um, when we had baled hay for a guy named Grandpa Cackley, and we were friends with his grandson Mark Cackley, and we could take four-wheeler trails all the way down to his house, and we just had to hop over this one back road. Like it was maybe as wide as regular like back road is. We just the went up to it, whoop, right over the road. No, we never saw any cars back there anyways. It's pretty back in the sticks. But anyways, like that's what I had. That's what I was doing when I was growing up. Like we played this game. We played this game in paintball called I Quit. We played Wounded and we played I Quit. You got shot until you yelled I quit. Like that was it. Like we got tired of catching these long sniper shots and catching in the face mask and you're just out. Like and then we would play wounded. Like if you got shot in the head, you were out. But if you got shot anywhere else, it took another shot for you to get out. Like if you got shot in the chest, you had to get shot somewhere else one more time before you were out. Um, but I used to wreck I quit. I couldn't lose. I couldn't lose I quit matches. On the Air Force part of one of the posts, they had a gun club. They had a bunch of urban assault courses and speedball courses you could play on. Yeah, they had a setup in Alaska. It was the mount site. It was the actual mount site for mission oriented urban terrain. It's learning how to um, clear buildings and houses and stuff like that. And it was just shacks, man. It was wooden shacks built with plywood and 2x4s. It was terrible. It was nothing like Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri's. Um, but guys used to play paintball out there all the time. I never played paintball with them in Alaska. Ugly sticks. They do make ugly sticks for saltwater fishing. I mean, they have to. I mean, I don't understand why they don't. I never see them. Never see them advertised anymore. I never hear any or ads about ugly sticks or anybody talking about using them, like some big name bass fisherman or something. My dad was like a combination between Hank Hill and Red Foreman. Imagine that shooting you up with paintballs. Yeah, my dad was in the army too. He did 23 years. He was actually a military police like I was. Fishing with Fredo. Hey, buddy. Man, haven't got to chat with you for a while. How you doing? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, FPA. Yeah, the mount sites of Fort Lost in the Woods or something else. Yeah, dude, that was a award winning um mount site. Like that was incredible. Um so spoiled. So spoiled going through when I look back at it, even then I was like, "Oh man, this place is incredible." They had tunnels underground that you could sneak up into the sewers of houses and like it's not really the sewers, but like you can sneak up through the basement. I mean, they could fill those pipes with like real deep water. There was like they can take all the lights off. You had to like hold on to your buddy's collar and clear down through the tunnels because you couldn't see in front of you. Um, and plus, when you can't see like that, you got your shield man in front, so everybody wants to be stacked behind the shield anyway. So you're he's the shield. It ended yesterday, Wyatt. I did not get to go hunting any more than I had to, and we haven't had the weather for it, man. It's been pissing down rain for over a week now. Like this spring season just and my bike's in the shop, so I haven't been able to like just go out on my own and do my own thing. So this spring season's kind of a bust, man. It's over with. See you later, part. Great, buddy. Just working a lot and some fishing. That's what I'm talking about. At least you get to do some fishing. That's cool. Good night, Ryder. Um, I wish I could have put that in subtitles. I wish I could have Ryder subtitles sometimes when I'm speaking to Ryder because I feel like that's the only way me and him can communicate. Like I want to be able to speak Ryder language. Like I wish I could say words like Ryder does right now, and that way he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what he's saying." Finally, somebody that's talking my language. I've got it. I've got it saved in the message you sent me, Fredo. I have not. I saw. I clicked the link and went and looked at it. Passion for hunting and fishing taxidermy. What's up? I've got it saved in the message. I went to look at it and then I saw like some of the really cool episode like clickbaity titles. Not in a bad way. Clickbaity titles. Like let me rephrase that, Fredo. The more interesting titles that caught my attention, you had to pay for them. So I was kind of like, I was just in a mood, man. I was like, oh man, capitalist bastards. I'm not paying you to hear you talk. Blah 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 blah. So I hadn't looked back. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try there. Fredo for sure. I just got to be in the mood, I guess. Learn to do room clearing with house frames that were a bunch out 3 foot concrete walls, so you could learn to do it right. Learning to do room clearing with house frames that were a bunch out. How else you could learn to do it right? I can't translate that one, buddy. Yeah, I love doing mount training for sure. It was fun. It's very dangerous. It's if you think about it in a actual situation, like the only the thing is when you train like that, you train with other people who are trained in it. When it's applied, you're trained. You're you're the one that's trained, and these people are they kind of think they have an idea about it. Like when you're downrange and you clear a house, like unless you're close on the front lines guys, like your infantry guys, your Marine Corps guys that are jumping in, your SF, your Ranger guys, they're the ones that are doing room clearing more so than against trained combatants than you are. You're doing you're doing room clearing with guys who are like they just know how to pull a trigger and they try to think about the angles. It's all about angles when you're doing mounts. It's all about angles. I think that's why I'm so enamored with watching like really high level people playing DayZ videos. Um, because all they're trying to do is outflank and try to catch angles to give themselves a higher percentage of survival and also a higher percentage of neutralizing the threat that's around them. I mean, I think it's if you just apply it to thinking in real life while you watch it, like how would you if this is a real life situation and you could, you know, run forever, um, did he handle that the right way? They were set up like a house, but all the walls were only 3 foot high, so everything you did could be observed. Oh, we have those. They're called in Alaska. We had what's called a shoot house. So all the walls were made of stuff that sops in bullets, like sucks in bullets, except for the outside perimeter wall was just covered in the stuff. And there's catwalks above, so all your instructors are actually um, they're normal size. Like it's all built. It's just there's no like ceiling. Um, but the cat you could walk above it and you could live fire inside clearing rooms. So the shoot house was really cool in Alaska, and um, it was pretty cool to actually be able to put like live fire rounds clearing rooms, and you really have to trust your team that you're going in with when you do that. Like because those guys will some idiots, no matter they don't think about trigger discipline and they don't think about flagging their your buddy, which is uh, muzzle awareness is what it's called. Always knowing that your muzzle's pointing in a safe direction around your friends. Like never, you can't. There's no slipping up. Like you slip up in the shoot house, they will not allow you to be in the shoot house ever again. Don't worry, bro. I still have checked out your video sounds on the fit. Don't worry, bro. I still haven't checked out your video sounds on the headphones. Been busy moving daughter out. Oh, Fredo, you big huge piece of shit. Get over there and watch that right now. No, I'm just kidding, bro. Whenever just get yourself some nice ass. Like today was a good day, is a good one for headphones. Um, my woodworking video is great for headphones. Uh, my spring turkey hunt I think is good with headphones. It's just when you listen to them on computers or phones or laptops, you're not getting the bass that you feel from a lot of the songs that I'm editing into the videos. I'm not so you miss out on an aspect of a creepy or a domineering feeling that I'm trying to put out. Like I'm trying to make you feel doom and gloom while you're watching the video. So it's important. The laptops and phones they don't put out that bass, so you can't really get the tone of the video. You're not allowing me to think for you. I guess is how I'm trying to Um, say like I'm trying to make you feel a certain way while you watch my videos. I want your mind to wander and see if you can get into the same mentality that I'm trying to put out there. Yeah, slice the pie. Yeah, slice the pie is one of those things. Um, you always feel those are one of those things that you just learn, and you're like, man, that's going to be hard to do, and then it just becomes second nature, and it becomes real quick, real quick. No problem, wildlife. Thank you for stopping by, man. What you drinking, Cook? I got a Port Brewing Mongo Double IPA right now. I am drinking some. I had a craving for some old St. Pauli Girl. Um, so picked those up yesterday. I just had a craving for them. I was like, man, I haven't drank a St. Pauli Girl in a long time. And one of my old army buddies, Hubbard, he used to drink St. Pauli Girl. And I was thinking and talking about Hubbard the other day with another army buddy. And I was like, I'm gonna get some St. Pauli Girls. Yeah, yeah, they're nothing special, man. They're nothing special. They're like a cheap German beer. Though they I never like imported German beers. I don't like them. Like every time I've ever tried an imported German beer, when I was over in Belgium and tried the exact same thing, they tasted way better because they don't let that green bottle light change the flavor of the beer. Um, but the same with like Heinekens. Can't stand Heinekens here. I don't like them. I don't even if they're on tap, they're shitty. But if you go over and drink one in Belgium, they're great. I loved Heinekens. Heinekens. I was just telling the girlfriend talking about this that the Heinekens were just they're like a refreshing beer. They're like if they're not imported, like if you got done working like chopping wood or something or baling hay and it's the afternoon time and you're with your buddies, if you had some Heinekens that were from Germany, they they were like super refreshing. Like, man, I could drink a fucking beer for sure. Kind of like Coronas. Coronas are like that. They're just a refreshing beer that doesn't make you feel like you're. I hate feeling like I'm 400 pounds after I drink a couple beers. Yeah. Well, the now you might have some knowledge on this, GKB. I have always been told, and that the reason why they taste different is because the green glass that they come in, it changes the flavor of the beer because of how long it takes to import, and the light coming through the green bottle changes the UV rays or something to make the beer taste differently. That is what I've had in my brain as a fact for years now. So I could be wrong. I never actually looked it up. I'm doing it tonight, promise. Mama's hungry. She's fasting tomorrow for surgery on Monday, so got to go talk to you. See you, Fredo. Hope everything goes well with that. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I hope everything turns out all right, for sure. Um, um, it was great talking to you too, man. I'm glad you stopped in. You'd have loved the Mount site we had in Germany. It was a town that supposedly Hitler had built to teach his army how to clear out a town. It was massive. What was it called? What city were you in? What base were you in there? Because I'm because I was in Germany a lot, bro. Like because what I did in Belgium kept us all around those countries. Yeah, but the cans are just as bad. Used to be the UV factor, but even the ones in the brown bottles suck. Yeah, UV factor. I guess I was right on that one. I don't remember when I learned that fact. Man, I had this one. I remember getting it was like I was in Afghanistan and I can't remember if it was I think it was Christmas. I think it was Christmas and we were working with civilian contractors and they could drink. And so I had them get me a 6 pack of beer while I was there downrange, and it was a Kilkillian's, and Kilkillian's. It came in a can. I drank the first one warm because I just got it, and we put it. They gave it to me, and I put it in the fridge and hid it behind some stuff, and we were just in kind of like our own personal um, lounge area that nobody used, and so I was hiding it behind the chair and stuff, and I had cracked it open. I just downed it as fast as I could, watching and listening to make sure nobody was coming around. And I was just, it didn't matter. It was warm. It sucked, but I watched some and I see where that took me. Then I got one out that had gotten cold, and I cracked it, set it down in its little hiding spot, and I heard it bubbling. I heard it had one of those little CO2 balls in the inside that I had no clue that it activated it. Let's see, I'm doing it tonight. Yeah, but the cans are just as bad. HP the VV. Can I ask you a big favor? What's up, man? Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures. Hello. Larry Johnson. Hello. What's that there? I I don't know. Do you want me to call you Passion? That seems weird to just call it Passion for hunting and fishing taxidermy. Like the nitro cartridge. That's what it is. Makes good as again. It was a dark beer. Like it was called Kill Killian's. I remember that. But it was a darker beer. Larry Johnson, I think I said hello to you. I might have gotten off on a tangent. I'm sorry if I skipped you over. My bad. I get my focus shifts very quickly. What all you guys? Let's see. What did GKB said he has? Port Brewing Mongo Double IPA. See, I'm not a big IPA fan. That's huge where I'm at right now. Everybody loves IPAs around here. I've seen that can before. Because I thought it said mango. Like I'm pretty sure that's like a common mistake. Mongo. Yeah, cool. Big beer. It's distributed through the U.S. Okay. Yeah, I must have seen it somewhere. I've known that can for. I've never had it. I'm not a big. The reason why I like IPAs is because they have a lot of IPAs you can find with high alcohol content, and it takes me a long time. Well, not like it used to, especially being keto and losing all this weight. It takes me a little bit less to get drunk on beers, but uh, they you could find IPAs with higher alcohol content, so I could drink. I'd have to deal with the shitty taste that I didn't like. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying all IPAs are shitty, but because I know that's a don't insult a person's beer on the internet. They'll go if they're serious about that stuff. um, but I find that the IPAs have a higher alcohol content, so I can drink 3 or 4 of them and be where I'm at, where I want to be on the drunk level, and not feel like I'm like 400 pounds. While I just have to deal with the disgusting taste in my mouth. To me, what were you asking there? Great outdoors adventures? Nope. Hunting and fishing taxidermy. That's who is. That's who. Yeah. Yeah. See, that. See, my buddy who likes IPAs that drinks them, he always says I want them with so many hops that it melts the enamel off my teeth. And he just he's just talking shit, but um, he likes super like hoppy as bitter as you can get. I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like it because it's a 9%. You know what I mean? That's about it. Um, yeah, some are rude, but you can find nice. Yeah, that perfectly describes it. They're just rude. They're rude. They're like Man, thanks for having this high alcohol content. Thanks for having not making me feel like I'm 700 pounds, but you're an asshole for tasting this way. But that's just me. That's a perfect way to describe it. I'm gonna start saying that. I don't like those. That IPA is just way too rude for me. Now you know what? I can't say that. I can't say that. That just sounds. That sounds too beer snob hipster-ish too much because I don't have that knowledge of beers to back it up. Like those guys that are just like it doesn't. It tastes like this the the ocean crashing against the rocks. No, no, the mist that comes off that ocean crashing into the rocks. Oh, it really shows. He said he went through a divorce. It really shows in this beer. It really shows. There's a great video, GK Beer. Vanessa Kitty, what's up? Welcome to the stream. There's a great video called uh it's on Vimeo if I remember correctly. It's what beer snobs say. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. What There we go. It's called shit beer geeks say. It's a it's a it's a funny little video that somebody made just to make fun of. It's hilarious, GKB. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's called shit beer geeks say, and it's on Vimeo. It's a hilarious video about the stuff that they say. What favor were you asking for their passion? Yeah, it gets. Look, man, I can't have a bald head and a beard like this, and also say stuff like that about beers around my area, or I'm just gonna be an urban hipster. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does a hipster buy its album? That's one thing since I quit smoking and I didn't quit drinking beers. I run out of. I don't ever hardly have my lighter on me anymore because I don't smoke. So I also lose my beer opener because I usually just pop them open with my lighter. I'm not a big drinker anymore, but I love my Seagram's Jamaican Me Happy. Me neither. Since ever so often, like um, I'll have a weekend or a night when I want to sit down and I'll just have just some whiskey on ice, and I'll put a whole bunch of ice in it, and I'll let it um, water down the whiskey. It'll be super cold, and I'll enjoy one of those. But I just can't get liquor drunk anymore. Like not since keto. Keto, getting liquor drunk on keto, I've never felt that bad in my entire life and drank that small of amount. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not that small of amount. It's like six rocks glasses full of just straight whiskey in a night. But I wasn't even like super fall over drunk or getting shitty. It's just the next day I felt like I was gonna die. Like I'm laying on the bathroom floor because I'm so hot, but yet I'm sweating, so I'm so cold being down here. But it's the only way to stop me from puking or shitting on myself. The keto hangovers are the worst. They are the worst. And I was just like, nah, I'll stick with beers. I'll stick with beers. Lost a lot of weight, so I can get drunk on beers now. So it works out. But yeah, I don't push it very far with whiskey anymore. I want to stay. I like staying in shape where I'm at, and I'd like to improve. And I can't improve if I'm super poisoning my body with liquor, even though I love ever so often poisoning the shit out of myself. Have you guys be honest with me here? There's four of you. Have you guys been watching my Ordinary Tales of Bravery? I've been wondering. I know everybody's busy, and I'm not complaining about views. I'm not. That's not the reason why I put it out there. But um, I've been really thinking about. I've got some of my buddies that are going to be moving closer to me here soon that we served with. Um, that we've served with. That I served with, and I'm kind of thinking about. I'd like to do something like. Yeah. See, I know yourself watches them. Like I can count that number one or number two views coming for yourself, like for sure. The other one I can definitely count on is Dexter. Dexter's always there. That guy's awesome. I love me some Dexter Tang. But it's I've been thinking about doing a kind of like a podcast ish with more army buddies, telling different stories. Like I don't tell you guys much Fort Polk stories when I'm with Timmons because Timmons wasn't at Fort Polk with me, and we can't bounce off intersecting stories. Um, and but even then we have intersecting stories because my squad leader in Fort Polk, Timmons knew him. He had left Alaska a month before. I talk about that on one of them, running into Sergeant Tafoya. But we're thinking about doing like a podcast and like see if I'm with my buddy Jamie with Jameson. He was in Fort Polk with me in my platoon, and we deployed to Haiti together. So we have a lot of Haitian stories. And oh, you were in the Italian army. That's cool. Passion. Listen, okay, everybody, pay attention real quick. Passion. Earlier, you asked me if I could do a favor for you. What favor did you want? You have not responded back yet. Do, do I gotta type it? Do I type it? I don't want you to miss it. It's bugging me. Got an Epic Brewing down the road here in Denver, Colorado. Oh, you're in Denver. Rhino, which stands for River North APA, American Pale Ale. Let me dude, I love Firefox is the shit, man. Let me see. Because all I got to do, Epic Brewing, all I got to do is highlight RNIO, right click that, and then just click search Google for Rhino. And like, I got to type in beer. And it comes up. That's super cool. I love doing that. Yeah, every upload, Pam, kind of Epic Brewing down the road here in Denver, Colorado. GKB, do you, being in Colorado, do you partake in the left-handed cigarettes? Speaking of which, see, Pam's no, but trying to catch up. I'm finding it hard to watch all my favorite videos, but I will put it on my list and for sure watch it. No worries, Pam. I just want like a lot of people subscribe to a lot of people. So I mean, if you're subscribed to 200 some odd people, I imagine that it's super hard to knock off the videos. And I know a lot of people are like, look, I don't want to half-ass these videos. I want to watch them all the way through. But People have 15-minute videos. Some people have hour-long videos, and I get it. I get it. I try to keep mine interesting, even if they're longer. Even if they're longer, I try to keep your attention the entire time. But I've been really wanting to do a veteran podcast, and I think Ordinary Tales of Bravery is perfect for that. I think I wouldn't I wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to do it live, um, because I know we might. I mean, we might get into some stories that are just like, it's not. They're not. It's not tactful to uh, talk about that in a public forum. So I like to, but I still like to be able to put out something that maybe one of these times I could sit with my buddy for like an hour and a half or 2 or 3 hours and just tell stories and talk about our lives and stuff like that, and welcome you guys into experiences that we've been through and endured, or great experiences that you guys might find funny, or you guys just I just like to I like to share my mentality, and where my mentality and my thought process and the way I act and the way I am the way I am. I'd like to show that to you guys. It's hard to, like, when you guys ask me what did you do in the army, it's hard for me to explain that to you. Like, I can give you like, oh, I was a military police, but you guys just you don't understand what that no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Not understand. You can't see it through my eyes to see what I'm saying and what that entails, except for yourself. Yourself has been there. He's also one of the local veterans that support the channel. Um, the local channel veterans. That's what you are. You're a local channel veteran. So, and, and plus, I kind of want to have something that's always going to be there for, someday I'm not going to be here. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a yeah. I know Vanessa. That's I was getting ready to say. Sorry, Vanessa. I didn't realize that you were still in the chat. She's also a veteran. Um, but I don't know. I'd like to share that with you, and I'd like to have like a record of the great experiences I had in my life. And I'm nobody special. I'm just Cook. But I've got to do some really cool things in my life and gone through some pretty cool, awesome experiences, and I like to share that with people. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat. It's caused some huge. Let's see, but I will put it on my list for sure. Yeah, not my thing for GK beer on the left-handed cigarettes. It's caused some huge homeless problems here. It was better when it was illegal. Um, I mean, I can't see it through your eyes, so I can't debate that. You know what I mean? You're seeing it firsthand. I'm getting it through 3 or 4 people when it comes to the news. You know what I mean? See, I value my gun rights more than using marijuana. Until it is legal, I will stay away. Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Okay. I like to hear war stories. I think it's cool, but I think it's cool that there are heroes out there. Yeah, there are. There's definitely they're out there. You know what I mean? But there's also there's a lot of shitbags. And not every soldier is a hero. A lot of soldiers are shitbags. I mean, you've ran into times in your life at bars or even neighbors or in your community, or hell, just going to the local Walmart or something, that you know that they're just shitbag human beings. Well, those shitbag human beings are also in the army. They're also the ones that drive tanks around. They're not picking on tankers, just saying as an example. I'm just saying they're in there too. We're not all of us are the greatest and brightest that our nation has to offer. You know what I mean? I tried to I tried to be great at it. I tried. I get care at the VA hospital as well, which precludes me from using marijuana. I need my health care. Yeah, fair enough, Vanessa. But the VA is going that route here soon. I think. I think. But the VA wants to go that route, but the VA can't go that route because it's controlled by it's under the guise of the people who make the laws. So, but they want to. There's been so many studies of how well it's been helping veterans with PTSD and issues. And I don't think the VA's route of keep giving them painkillers and keeping them pilled up is the right route. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's a good. I don't think it's a good practice. Hamelberg, Hamelberg. I don't think I've been up there, man. I'd have to look at a map now. I don't remember the name Hamelberg. Yeah, sure, Vanessa. I mean, I would like to listen to them. Please share. Yeah, they're. I've got. Let's see. Let me check my what I have here. So that's 14. I've got the last one. The last one's going to be number 18, and then I have one behind the scenes one that I like to release. So it's coming down to the wire now. Um, I just uploaded number 12. Yeah, 12. That one's 12. Why is that one there? Or did I upload 13? What am I at here? What is going on? Oh man, hold on. Got to check this. Let's see. Creator Studios. I might have. No, 14. Yeah, there's 14. I just uploaded 14. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to. I had to go check. I thought I was. I thought I had uploaded something wrong. Yeah. See, I can. Because I have up to 18. 18 is going to be the last one, and then I have a behind the scenes ones that I wanted to just. It's a it's a video of me breaking or telling Timmons what I wanted to do while he was there, and where my head was when I first started out that series. That I think it's. I don't even think I want to call it a series more. I think it's more of a podcast. I really do. I think that's more of a podcast. I mean, I know it's not boom mics and super professional looking or anything like that. I think it's. But I still think it's a podcast. Let's see. Let me catch up here. I would love hearing it from Pam. Thank you. In my career, I saw my work cause a number of military members go to Leavenworth. I saw in my career, I saw my work. I saw my work because a number of military members go to Leavenworth. I don't know what you mean by that, there, Vanessa. Well, I thank you for your service. You're braver than me. Though I grew up in years without, but yeah, no problem, GKP. Man, I appreciate your support, man, for real. Thank you. Pam, thank you. Yeah, sure. I mean, I get it there, Vanessa. I imagine someday they might have to piss test you, and you might lose that. Who knows? What is that? What do you got there yourself? What link is this? Like I don't do Facebook like at all, so I don't I don't know exactly what you're trying to show me here. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that one there, buddy. Sorry, I don't understand Facebook. I don't know who. I mean, I've heard of 95th, of course, but a lot of times when they give out units like that, and like 95th, those numbers like that, it's battalions worth or regiments worth and stuff like that. And I never thought about the level of that because I was never in it. I know. I doubt it. GKB. Yeah, I doubt it. I was going to say, um, that's just the picture that's up on that Facebook page. Actually, there yourself is like some honor guard looking guys. Through my job in the service, my position saw a number of military members get sent to prison for their crimes. The first one was a chief master sergeant. You ain't no goddamn war master. Get the fuck out of my face right now. Get the fuck out of my face. You are no goddamn war master. Um, what was your job there? VK. It's what were we called? You redneck. It's what we were called. What were we called? Health inspector. Let's see. Health inspector. Through my job, the service, my business saw a number of military members get sent to prison for their crimes. Health inspector. Yeah, you guys is MOS numbers are so damn long in the Air Force. Like like when I signed up, I was a 95 Bravo. Like that was what military police were, and they changed 95 Bravo to 31 Bravo while I was in. So I get to say I was an old school MP now. Yeah. But that's like infantry's 11 Bravo. Like it's the army's all about keep it simple and stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. I would hate to have to. I have to remember what's your MOS. It's a not. I'm a 90870 Bravo. Like I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to remember that. Was that a War Master? Was that your company's your company's little mascot? Was that your platoon's company name? Yeah. See, I never while I was in, man, it was always our platoon. That's all that mattered. Like that's it. Like there was always whatever company we were a part of, and then my platoon. Like we weren't shouting our company's motto stuff at nothing. We were talking only about our platoon's motto. I mean, that's how tight we were. It was our platoon versus the rest of the world, even our own company. Like we didn't intermingle or talk to other platoons a lot of times unless you were like really cool, and it was just like we weren't like all friends. Like a lot of we stick within our platoons. Like our we hung out with people in our platoons. It was just way tighter. Like they made us sound off with the company mottos and stuff, like accountability formations and PT and shit. But nobody liked doing that. Everybody was all about their own platoon. Health inspector, food inspection, health safety, food staff inspection, veterinary tech was our original name. We are called Military Public Health Service now. Okay, Honor Guard was one of the other company names. Thought that's what he was referring to. No, 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 no. If you take that link that you sent out there and just open it, click on the first thing, it comes up to a Facebook, and the first picture that you see is a banner, and it shows a bunch of dorks holding flags and being an honor guard. So he was right. Like it, GKB's not military, but he was like, "Is that an honor guard?" That those guys are definitely the honor guard, but I mean, honor guard sounds like super hua hua, but people who are on the honor guard, unless you're like at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier or something like that, they're just people who are shamming out and not doing anything. Like they're there for DNC, drill and ceremony and parades and changing. Nobody wants to stand in a change of command or change of responsibility type of um, um, ceremonies. Everybody hated that shit. Stand at parade rest and attention and salute in 100-degree weather for 3 hours. Like, dude, I couldn't move after those things. I'm not going to go to that. I know all they did was honor guard stuff. Send you a link to that page. Show the FTX we did there. Yeah, see, it's yeah, the honor guard. We didn't, unless you're at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier or something like that. The honor guard is not a prestigious duty to be doing. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I got respect for them because they can stand there for hours on end, but that doesn't help you in life, like at all. Went into ROTC because all I want to do is twirl rifles. Yeah, like I didn't join the army to do the whole dog and pony show and like the drill and ceremony and stuff. I was good at it. Don't get me wrong. I put in 100%. I was very good at it. I had to be being a platoon sergeant in basic training. That's not. Listen, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Um, but I had to learn how to do that kind of stuff because I had to move my platoon in marching formations and stuff like that. It was a pain in the ass. I hated doing it. I was good at it, hated doing it. It's one of those other things. But I never wanted. I hated those things. I wanted to be in the field. I wanted to be in the field. I wanted to shoot guns. I wanted to ride in big old army trucks, and I wanted to sleep in ant piles, and I wanted to sleep in the rain and get my uniform soaking wet and muddy, and just see if I could just go through the shittiest situations ever and see if I could just make it. Like that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to test myself. That Murder Inc. What's up? Welcome to the stream, buddy. It's good seeing you. Yeah, I got in because I just wanted to. I always like the field stuff. I like the confidence courses and the obstacle courses and doing super hard things and holding logs over our head for too long. And I like getting smoked to see where I could quit. And I just wanted challenged. I wanted challenged all the time. I wanted a challenge. I just wanted to. I mean, how about you there, Murder Inc? Like when you were doing, like, didn't you play semi-pro ball? Didn't you play football at a high level, at a higher level? I could have swore you did. Yeah. See, so in your in your mentality, when you were working out, like when you were working out, did you always want to improve? Like you always wanted to, oh man, I want to see if I can put 2.5 more pounds up or see if I can get one more rep out, something like that. Like that's where my mentality's at. Like I need to, when I first got in, I just needed to test myself. I needed something. I didn't know where the line was of me quitting. And I wasn't in an environment to find out where that line was. Um, and the army was the environment that I thought that I could get in and finally find where my line was. Like it humbles you. It humbles you. Because I remember I used to be, man, I could sprint so fast. I still to this day I'm a pretty damn fast sprinter. With within my circle, you know what I mean? And I was while I was in the army. But I can't run worth shit. I can't running to passing an army PT test, the running part, the 2 miles. Oh, I failed it for years. I just couldn't get it. But the fastest I ever run was 2 miles in 13 minutes and 59 seconds, and that was in basic training. And I just The first one I ever ran, it was like 23 minutes. It's like 20 minutes. I ran like a 10-minute mile, and I was dying. And I saw a line. I saw a line. I was like, holy fuck, how am I going to ever improve from this? Yeah, and I imagine that's a thing within your, because football teams get that team aspect as well. Like you feed off each other. It's not just the competition of the other team you're facing. It's the competition in between, in the locker rooms, in the gym with your buddies, that pushes you to another level. Oh no, I'm sorry. What tangent did I get off on the army? Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to find limits when I got in. And I wanted to see if I could pass those limits. And then once I pass those limits, what are my next limits? I could see where I'm getting weak. Yeah, I think a super competitive team that are competitive within each other are um are make for a better team as a whole. Send my sab to cousin from Japan, Melku Navarro. Hashtag Vitor Gamer V5. Welcome to the stream there, Vitor. I think competition is good. There's a huge debate going on right now about taking competition out of schools and stuff, and I think we're getting away from I think we're getting away from that warrior mentality that Americans were bred from. Exactly. Life is competitive in every aspect. I think you also need to cultivate the intelligence, and I think you need to cultivate the self discipline to know when to turn it off. Hey, Catmaster Catfishing, what's up, brother? Good seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. And it's my fault. I haven't really been online. I've been nursing a little bit of a. I got a little bit of bitch in my knee right now, and it's So I've been taking a week off PT, and I've just been being a lounging, recovering piece of shit in my mind. But I'm not 21 anymore. Yeah, life is competitive in every aspect. I think so. I think so. I think competition breeds better people. I think competition breeds teams. I think it makes teams. I mean, I think that's the reason why you see. You remember guys growing up in high school getting in fights, like getting in fights in school, and then those people who got in fights are like best of friends. They're thick as thieves the next day. I think having, I mean, that's combat. That's literally unarmed. It's bush league. You know what I mean? It's nobody. Everybody's swinging wildly. Nobody knows what they're doing. It's not training. It's anything. It's all amateur stuff. But it's still a form of unarmed combat. I mean, the dude still can get knocked out and stuff. But I think that it proves that competition builds teamwork. Like, you guys fight each other. You have the utmost respect for, man, this dude's pretty strong. He got me, but you have a mutual respect there. And I think competition breeds teams. It's been fucking with the kids. What do you mean there by Catmaster? What do you mean there? It's been fucking with kids. Even if you don't think you're competing with anyone, you are competing with your past self over who is the better you. See, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing too. Is I push myself. Like, I make sure to have self discipline. Like, I make sure every time I don't want to do something, like every single time I have that feeling of I just don't want to do that, I just go do it. Like, it's the only way that I can keep myself self disciplined. Because if I let myself, I have no problem, like, laying on this couch for a week straight and doing nothing. And I hate that part about me. I really I loathe that part about me. And so I've always I know when you need days to chill out, you know what I mean? Like I'll sit here, my chilling out is here having a beer, watching some Joe Rogan and then and but that's after I've done stuff through the day. It's so damn bad. I just want to F them up. I can't do much. I don't know the context of what you're talking about, Catmaster. Maybe I'm getting a little deeper into beers than I thought I was. I don't think so. I've only had two. Yeah, I know. Can I have another beer, by the way, baby bag, please? My my girlfriend just heard me talking and stuck her head in the room here and said, "Yeah, you two beer queer." She picks on me so much. Ah, I'm abused. The boys. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't put two and two together, brother. My bad. My mind's all over the place. It's great. Yeah, I think and I thank you, babe. I have a I'm a very competitive individual. Like I know a couple times uh like just doing yoga um with a friend that we've done yoga with before. Like we like to be competitive with who can stretch more, who can do the harder position and stuff like that. I get competitive. I'm not a I try to rein it in because I get competitive, and then when I don't live up to my own expectations, I get all pissed off at myself. And so I try to keep myself level headed. Like we played oh I got competitive at playing I used to play in a dart league around here, like a local dart league at a biker bar that's owned by a couple of Vietnam veterans and that are real good friends of mine. And I we played dart league, and oh man, I those whole couple seasons I can't remember the last time I was that mad. Like I don't get that mad often, and I let shit blow off my shoulders a lot. No reason to waste my time there. But darts, just darts. I'd be like, okay, I need to go outside and smoke and calm the fuck down. Like I'm taking this way too seriously. It's just darts. Don't get me wrong. We did take first place one season, but kids can be so badass. I don't want to be the bad guy all the time. You know how it is sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have personally. I don't have kids. I mean, I couldn't speak on that behalf. I mean, I can understand, and I mean, I know how kids act. I've got a huge family, been around kids. I just don't have them myself. The only kid I've got is a little Doberman Rook. Yeah, that's right. I'm a little girl. Oh, yeah. That's the only kid I got. All right, no worry, Pam. It also might be it might also be me too. So, um, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, Murder Inc.'s got kids. Uh, we all thought that he had a a human decoy in the back of his truck that one time. His daughter was passed out in the back, not moving on his dashboard confessions videos, and somebody said, "Is that a body in the back there?" Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious that she was in frame. She just laid out like this, just but it was so low in the frame. It was like right down here. You barely could see her, and then like you had to super focus and be like, "Is that's a human?" Thank you, Pam. Oh, murder! You got a free car. Yeah, ventriloquist doll. So murder, meet up with Pam, and you can take the car. Hopefully, hopefully. So, let you guys know. Um, oh yeah, of course they are. Yeah, definitely, for sure. In case you guys want to know, me and Murder Inc. have been on some talks recently about doing some collabs here. Um, I don't know if you guys would be into like I do usually during the summer time frame. I like to do pack it in kayak trips where we don't take food with us. We just take water. Um, you're not gonna die on 3 days of no food, anyways. But we pack up the kayaks and we float down creeks, and we stop on the side of creeks, and that's where we stay. When it's an hour before dusk, we just start a fire and place our tent down, and we sleep. Wake up in the morning and get started. But you have to fish and hunt your way down there. So I mean, like you have to you got to be fishing the whole time if you want to eat some fish, and then like you obviously I can't like just shoot a deer because it's not deer season. So like you gotta maybe catch a squirrel or shoot a squirrel or a groundhog or like a stork or something like that. Hey Dexter, what's up? Um, I've been thinking about filming those. They're really fun to do, and I would really like Murder Inc.'s got some kayaks and stuff. Um, so we might be able to do that this year. Like, we might be able to collab up and just do a pack it in trip. Yeah, if I can get some good footage, if I can find a way to rig up my um, camera, my phone, and my battery pack and stuff, so that I don't get it wet. Um, yeah, I think I would like to do that. I'd like to be able to do that. Oh, it's awesome, man. I love doing it. It's the funnest thing. It's just and see all these rivers. When I first, man, when I got into kayaking, I just gotten out of the army, and I wanted to do something like that, and I wanted to go down these creeks that were near me, and I had never been down them before, and I literally got my kayak, um, drove myself to an endpoint, plotted it on Google Maps, and I was like, okay, this is my endpoint, this is my outpoint, and I got my kayak, never been in one before, and I just went, and it was 3 hours. It was 3 hours from the end point to the out point. And I got to my out point knowing that nobody was going to be there to pick me up. I pulled my kayak out. I talked to some guy on the neighbor and I asked him if I could just set my kayak here so it doesn't get stolen for a little bit. And I was going to walk back to my Jeep um, via the back roads and go get my Jeep to go get it picked up. And he was like, "Oh no, I'll run you down there, man. Come on." So this dude I'd never met before in my life, older guy. We ended up knowing a couple people uh, that I had worked for, and he knew, and were friends with. The old farmer knew an old farmer that I knew, and he drove me back up to get my Jeep. Well, I'm sorry, we just loaded up the kayak and just took it up to my Jeep. That was my first kayak trip I ever did. Just did it on myself. Just did it myself. No idea what to expect. It was it was scary and exhilarating all at the same time. Yeah, I know, but those GoPros are goddamn expensive, man. God damn it. Oh, we're just rambling, Dexter. We're just rambling about anything and everything. Well, see, I've got Murder Inc. I got a actually I'll show it to you real quick. I got this little battery pack that that I use because the old iPhone 6 that I use it if I film even at full charge, if I start a video with that, I'll get like 20 seconds video and the whole battery will just die. So I bought this little it's called an Anchor battery pack. It's let's see lighter for scale. Um and it has little micro USBs and USB ports on the end of it. So I leave it plugged up to my phone with its charging cord, which is what it uses, and it comes with this little pack, and I have it hanging on my tripod just like this. Well, this thing it takes a little while to charge up for sure, but I took it on my 3 day um, pack it in hunting trip that I have a video of, where it was freezing cold, and it didn't even lose. It has four little dots saying, so it's like 25%. So it lost one dot while I was out there for 3 days. It also has a warning in the instructions saying that please, if you don't use it, please make sure to charge it every 6 months. And I've had it on for days and days and days and used it for days and days and days of shooting. And I've never got it to deplete. This one's called an Anchor, Anker. I got it off of Amazon, and it's one of the I don't remember what number it is. Let's see. It's the Power Core 26800. The model number is A1277. Uh oh, it works great, man. Oh, it's awesome. If I ever upgrade to another a better phone or something, if I get another hand me down a better phone, I'll definitely be using it for that one as well. Yeah, a knockoff maybe. Cook, I use a SJ Cam 4000. It works just the same as a GoPro. Yeah. See, I've looked at some of those what they're called as GoPro killers is what I've seen them talked about. Just GoPro, yeah, GoPro killers, and they're just as good, if not better, than a GoPro without the insane amount of price. Yeah, I would. There, I can't remember what I paid for this, man. You'll have to look it up there, Murder Inc. I can't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't that pricey. I'm a cheap ass man, so if I buy anything, it's not. I have certain things that I'll pay a reasonable amount of money for, guns and ammo and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some that look, if not better than GoPros and cheaper, but what was the camera that you used to shoot your night video there, Dexter? The same with Sony Action Cam versus GoPro Pirate. Hey, Pirate, welcome back. Did you use that SJ Cam for your night shooting? Because that was a really good video. Well, then how did you get all those? I use my iPhone 6s, but iPhone sucks in low light. Yeah, they do. They're terrible at low. I know for sure. Like I have to wait when I'm out hunting, and I use this to to uh to film. Like I have to wait almost past that um, golden hour um, before I can start filming, and that's when you see a lot of deer. And I always worry about, oh man, I'm gonna run into a deer at this time, and I'm not gonna be able to film it because my iPhone's not gonna pick it up. I don't know. That's not true, Florida. I don't know. There's some cameras out there that do. Oh, there's a new one that's out now. I'm not saying that it's out for like everybody's gonna get one, but they've been using right now that shoots it in is insane amount of nighttime quality. I can't remember what it is. They're just fresh out. So I'm pretty sure if you're like Google new camera that's great at night, it'll probably come up. Yeah, yeah, you're getting into those insane price tags. Yeah, you used your iPhone 6 to shoot that nighttime video with all the cool colors and stuff there, Dexter. Like there's a let's see. There's a def there's a noticeable difference. I can't remember what type of phone the girlfriend has, but she has a newer model iPhone. Um, and there's a noticeable difference if you watch my public shed hunting public land video. Um, at the end when I talk about leaving and stuff on the last couple minutes of the video, you notice a different quality uh, compared to my other videos. Like that whole video was shot on the phone that I normally shot on, except for that last part. My It got too cold and my phone wouldn't turn on, so I had to use the girlfriend's phone to record that. It got like 16 degrees, so we woke up and it was 16 degrees. Um, Sleeping in the back of the vehicle on public land. It was great. It was a great adventure. But her phone was fine, and I shot it, and you can tell the quality. It's way better than what I'm using. Don't get me wrong, I can still get 1080p out of this old ass 6S, but man, I've got to put up battery packs. I've got to I keep it warm. I can't let it get too cold. If it gets too cold out, I have to keep the camera on the entire time, or once it cuts out, I'll never get it back on when it's out of focus. Yeah, when it's that cold, you start sleeping nuts. But yeah, you do. I mean, I've been in colder, but it's not fun. I mean, I was okay. Ah, okay. It didn't capture how well lit the place actually was. You're not well, no. I don't expect you to unless I accidentally soak my clothes and I life or death need you to get in the sleeping bag with me or no, man. You know what? I tell you, if we do a couple of these rivers, a lot of times what I'll do is I won't even um, take my full tent. I'll just take the my tent's got a rain fly that goes off the top of it, and then it goes off the side of the tent itself, and it makes like a back porch area. So I can take all my gear, s- open up the back of my tent, stick it out there like my rucksack and stuff, and it's still in an enclosed area and won't get wet. Well, you could take just that rain fly and bring that to sleep on, to sleep under. So a lot of times I just take something super light like that. Yeah, I always say that when we're kayaking, when we do those trips, Murder Inc. about deliverance. I'm like, listen, I ain't no yank on my ear make me squeal. I'm Burt Reynolds of the river. Like I am. You're the creeks that I go down to, man, you are legitimately in the sticks. Like there are places that I'm like, I really hope nothing fucking goes wrong. I really hope nobody gets hurt or anything like that because I don't think I'm physically able to make the distance that we need to get out. To get some type of now I'm combat lifesaver certified. Like I can render first aid. I know a lot about first aid. Anything that we could get into. I can pump your chest if you need me to. But there are places that we are so stuck way back in there, and we have like sheer cliffs right to left. You know that I hope nothing goes wrong. Nothing ever has. I mean, knock on wood. But in those places, I am Burt Reynolds of the river. I refuse to be the squeal like a pig, pull my ear. Dude, that ain't ever gonna be me. I'm gonna be the dude that don't see behind the tree that has a bow and arrow. The phone will start turning up the ISO shutter speed to capture low light. In order to stop the fuzz, you would need a bigger CCD. The receiver for the image. Many SLRs have a. That's so many acronyms. You sound like you're speaking a different language to me, GKB. But it's so damn yeah. But you can try to hold your focus and we'll lock the AE for you. Yeah. On my shot, the shot on my video today was a good day. When I thought I had it locked, and I didn't have it locked. So when I sit down and eat, uh, if you watch the shot changes from being bright to being dark, and you being able to see the woods that I'm in. And I thought that was a super cool shot that I did not mean to do at all. It just didn't lock long enough. I took too long. It was incredible that I was like, that is an awesome shot. I'm glad that did that. Oh, definitely, dude. Just cover me up before the crows peck my eyes out. The fuckers want revenge on me. So that's true. That's true. I believe that your name has been spread far and wide in the crow community. The information has been spread as the crow flies. Anybody in the crow community? Probably Murdering's probably just looking for one that floats. he uh he seems like the type of dude that's just okay with things that work. Does it float? Okay, that's a kayak for me. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's the vibe I get off of Murder Inc. Does it float? All right, I'll use that one. Yeah, seriously, dude, I'm telling you, Murder Inc. If you show up with an inner tube, I'm not going down the river with you. Yeah, so have we all. Damn, I have four plus a boat plus a canoe. Well, I mean, you live in Florida, there, pirate. Plus, you're a pirate, so I imagine you own a lot of floating boat stuff, right? A lot of people just float their beers. Um, I tell you what, Murder Inc. will know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you remember the gear bags you used to get in playing football in high school? That was just like a giant. Um, laundry bag that was just all mesh. It was a thick mesh, like you could put all your pads and everything in there. It fit all of it. But those things were the best for of age friends getting you beers, camping, and you could put those if you camp next to water or creek or something like that. You put all your beers in that because you couldn't have them in the fridge because you get caught by your parents. So you had these. I used to have like a Marlboro like travel bag full of all these beers we had, and they were probably skunk, but we didn't care. Getting beers at 15 and 16 was hard to do a lot of times. So I kept these things, and when we went camping on the weekends, we'd camp next to this real creek. We'd go find a deeper hole. We'd put them all in that mesh bag, and we'd put them down in the water, and it'd be ice cold beer. And then when we grew up, we used to start doing it with liquor. Do you remember those bags? Those bags were the shit. This is not really. Don't pirates steal boats? Well, who else has four inner tubes, a boat, and a canoe? Obviously, somebody who stole them. See, there we go. GKB. I didn't pay for the boat or three of the kayaks. Exactly. See. This is where we finally get to see a little bit of the pirate in Florida Pirate Adventures. We've been getting used to only seeing the Florida adventures from him, and he hasn't been wanting to show the pirate part of them because he doesn't want to get in trouble. That's smart. Smart thinking there, pirate. All those pirates that you hear about their escapades, like that they talk about in history books. Guess what? They're talking about them in history books, and they're dead now. So obviously, oh shit, you can use YouTube for that. Look here, I am the captain now. Exactly, Somalia. Man, I tried. I put in resumes to get that job. I wanted that job so bad. I still do. I wanted to be on some big old tanker ship and going around the Cape of Africa or near Somalia and fighting off pirates. Going camping on the river next weekend. Yeah. Camping. As what you mean by camping is, stealing the shit out of stuff. You guys got plans for Sunday? You guys got anything planned for Sunday? You gonna do anything? Yeah. Yeah, they're nuts. You gotta be in a pretty you gotta be in pretty cooking pulled pork. You gotta be in a pretty damn dire situation to take some boat with no bigger than half a trolling motor on the back and fly off the coast up to this giant behemoth, not knowing whether they have security or not knowing whether you can get a hold of something to get up the side of it or not. Just to fly out there and try to take over these massive ships. And there's like three or four of you that's super underfed and have barely any ammo and don't know if your rounds are even going to go off. Man, that takes balls, man. That takes huge balls. Imagine if those guys got an oil tanker and all of them got on it. So they had their own oil tanker pirate ship. It would be like Waterworld. Hiking in the hills. Resting today. Sunday chill day. I'll be fishing tomorrow for the Mekong Challenge. Oh, Mekong Challenge coming up. Yeah, they're not the smartest of individuals there. I've seen that video. I know which one he's talking about. Yeah, they go in. They go after a ship. They know the ship's there, but it's dark, and so they're in the dark and they're doing. They don't understand that it's a. They don't know that it's an actual. It's not a Navy destroyer. It's not that big. It's a. It's one of the. But it's definitely one of the way bigger patrol boats. Like they're talking pretty damn big. The best way I ever heard it described is that if they succeed, they will be bigger to their community than Washington is to the U.S. Yeah, I mean, I guess that gives you the biggest balls and biggest uh, bragging rights. Like the like that's the king pimp right there. You know that dude. That dude held a Dutch oil tanker for a week. He's the biggest badass we've ever met. Especially an aircraft carrier. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen pirates ever go after an aircraft carrier, and I'm pretty sure aircraft carriers, unless they're coming into port, they stay way offshore in strategic areas. Yeah, yeah. I remember when Tom Hanks got kidnapped. um, I don't know if I want to do it anymore. I think there are Russian ships running patrols off that coast now. Are you crazy? You do realize like that would be an awesome time to do it because the Russians don't give a shit about protocol or uh, PC social justice warrior ish culture. They're just like, hey, you're lucky we gave you a warning. Oh, you still don't want to listen? Everybody dies. I will break you. Like, those are great people to have on your side. I'd be friends with them. I'd definitely be friends with them. Like, hey, bro, heading into your territory. Brought you some American vodka if you'd like to try it. Just do you mind getting our backs if we get into it with these pirates? Russians would be like, sure. They'd show up drunk and still get the job done. But yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's any Navy ever anywhere at all. Like I'm pretty sure if Old Navy showed up in some boats, I don't think I would want to be a Somalia pirate trying to take over Old Navy's boat. Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong, that country's fucked up. They've done some fucked up things, but so have we. And and the way they go about things are way more effective sometimes. It has to be. The dash cam footage that is from there is usually pretty good. It has to be that they're so used to insurance fraud over there that like everybody has that in there. Oh man, dude, if we collab, if we collab, like prepare. I love to talk about. I love to talk about hypothetical situations and how people would act within hypothetical situations. I like to get deep into thinking about what's the devil's advocate way of thinking. I like to go all over the place. Keep Don't get me wrong, I can focus in on everything you've ever been able to do. I have that ability to do that, like focus way in into something. But yeah, I uh I love going down different routes and talking about different stuff. Okay, what is give me because I just heard a new one there, murder. I just got into a new one. I haven't researched it. I just heard a little. It was just inklings in the wind of this new conspiracy. Um, but what is one of your favorites? What is one of your favorites to discuss? Oh, Dexter, I love talking about zombie apocalypse stuff. I was just talking about apocalypse stuff with my buddy Grant today. We were texting back and forth. You know what? Everybody says that. Everybody says that, and I don't think that. What's Jerry Joe Rogan Experience? Dexter, you haven't ever watched the Joe Rogan Experience, like the podcast, Joe Rogan? Do you know who Joe Rogan is? Ooh, that's a good one. How the pyramids were made. Hey, Muskie Hans, what's up? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, the JRE podcast. Yeah, they go on the Joe Rogan podcast is called JRE because it's called the Joe Rogan Experience. Oh, okay, cool, sweet. I was like, oh my god, Dexter, you of all people, I think would love Joe Rogan. Like, I think you'd be like, yes, let's do Joe Rogan. Making some lures, Muskie Hans. You just hopped into about to be a conspiracy talk. Murder Inc. What is your theory on how they were built? How the pyramids were made? Oh, he's talked about a lot of stuff. Like he's got over 1,000 episodes now. Maybe one day, Ordinary Tales of Bravier will have 1,000 episodes. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's what I think. I think I think I think all of that was accomplished by massive amount of slaves. Huge amounts of slaves. Like I understand that slave labor is a piece of shit fucking thing. Like I think that's terrible that a human beings, but it's effective. It's it gets shit done. I think aliens build the pyramids. That's another one. Yeah, I think they had a massive amount of slave labor, but they also had a many foremans that had standards. Like I think this massive rock needs to be sanded down this way to this amount. I should not be able to. How would they measure it? I shouldn't be able to feel any bumps here. I think that's how they got the flat things. And then the way that they're built and the way erosion happens over time would because would eventually erode it into being a more the big talk about the things is how can they make those massive stones fit so tightly together that you can't fit a playing card through. Well, you can push anything together. I got a desk drawer over here that I can shut and not fit a paper card through. I mean, that's not that hard to do to get something flat. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. The precision. That's the word I couldn't think of. It's not that hard to get that precise. It really isn't, with especially the way erosion um, would work on those. Like It really isn't. If you push two huge stones together and you see that the outside line of where they touch isn't touching, then you make the exact same slaves that pushed them, pull them apart, and you sand down again. And then you make those, and you just keep doing that. I mean, I don't think it was that hard. What blows my mind about uh, the Egyptian periods, the Egyptian pyramids were being built while there were still woolly mammoths on Earth. That I thought woolly mammoths were like extinct for years before the Egyptian pyramids fucking came around. But they were actually still on Earth while that was being built. Who's to say who's to say they didn't? I mean, we've got working elephants. Who's to say we didn't have working woolly mammoths at some point? If you can kill something, you can capture it and train it if it's young enough. Yeah, elephants or woolly mammoths. Or I think maybe they got the woolly mammoths and they took them to Egypt and maybe they cut their hair. The I love talking. Sorry, Dexter said something about there's a kid that climbed the pyramids. Though I think I've seen pictures of that. Um, Florida pirate. How many people was killed during thousands of people died. I guarantee, just from accidents alone, just from I guarantee thousands. I think aliens build the pyramids. I believe there's something else out there. Had to cook. Have you heard about the one where all the people go missing in national parks? Refresh me on that one because I've heard that one, but I can't remember what the conspiracy is. I can't remember what I remember them talking like every year like hundreds of people just go missing and they never find them. Right? Aliens, yeah. Despicable Me, they're big blow up bouncy castles. I don't think they're watching us. I don't think they're watching us. I don't think I don't know. As vast as the universe is, and as many infinite infinities that there are, and galaxies and stuff, it is insane to think that we are the only ones that all this stuff lined up and we have us now. It's insane to think we're the only ones in this huge vast universe. Somewhere else there's got to be something. I mean, maybe they don't look just like us. Hell, maybe they do. Maybe this is the only way that that people exist, but they went a different route. But this is not. We're not the only ones. There's no way we're the only ones. There's just no way we're the only intelligent life in this universe. Exactly. There's no way. How crazy should I get with lure colors for homemade lure exchange challenge I'm doing with precision angling? I think I think you should have one lure that is American flag colored, just so you can be patriotic as fuck, Muskie. Not sure about the theories. I mean, states like 3 states away will be tracked to national parks and never found. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're just not understanding how big and how vast the territory is that they could have covered. That's what I chalk that up. I don't think there's anything. I just don't. I mean, it's easy for a bear to cover 30, 40, 60 miles in a day. Like it's easy for them. That's an easy day. And if they munch up and eat and mess around. I think things decompose way faster in untouched areas like that. Um, I don't think there's a thing there. I just think that's just we don't understand how big the national forests really are. And by the time you start realizing, oh man, I'm way the fuck out there. Like you're not prepared, and you get lost, and you get fucked up, and you get eaten and scavenged, and worms go through you, and I think it's all soaking wet. I think it doesn't have much of a human touch to it, so things decompose faster out there. States away will be tracked in national parks. Go multicolor, Hans. That's what Dexter says. I think there's a devil triangle in a national park. I just watched the movie Interstellar like twice. I think I did. I watch Interstellar. Interstellar is the one where he's like some kind of farmer and he keeps coming back and trying to warn his past self about stuff. Right, Interstellar. Make a rainbow one. You should make an American flag one, Muskie. That'd be awesome. Chris Nolan is a genius. Have the Devil's Tryout all over the world is another crazy one. Pirate. Yeah, it is. Things decompose based upon temperature and moisture, right? There are plenty of ways to make people disappear. Just ask the mafia. Yeah, I mean that's true. Potentially going missing in a national park is all the more reason to be carrying a pistol in case you just wild animals, esoteric, or satanic cults. Yeah. Uh, have you guys? Speaking of, we can go on that real quick yourself. I'll touch on that subject. You guys should. I know this is going to be okay. Have an open mind with me here. Be kind of intelligent adults. Please don't attack me here. Look up look up the Satanic Commandments. Just Google the Satanic Commandments and just read. I'm not asking you to be a Satanist. I'm not asking you to let the devil into your heart. I'm just saying, just read what they say. They're pretty fucking common sense. Pretty common sense. Like they're very, you could super agree with that. Like, okay, that makes sense. Just do it. Try it. So I don't think satanic cults are something you really need to worry about. I also think not just carrying a pistol with you. I also think you should have a complete survival kit. Like I don't think you should go in the national parks unless you have on your back some way to provide an easier way to get food, whether it be a 22 or a fishing uh, kit or something that you can catch food and eat it. You need a pure water filtration device of some sort. I think you need to have shelter for some sort of fire starting kit and some tinder. I think you shouldn't be, oh, I'm just gonna go backpacking with just my um, guitar and a pack of Skittles. I don't think you should go do that in national parks. I think you should be packed up to survive at least a week if something fucking happens. Yeah. I don't think now I'm not asking you to go out with 60 fucking pounds, you know what I mean? Think smart, but don't go, oh, I need to have my backup knife for my backup knife for my backup knife. Don't go that route. I've had to get out of thinking that way. I can't carry all that weight anymore. I like to pack light now, light fighter. But I think you need to be prepared to walk out. People don't understand that it's not just it's not a walk in a park. This is to say it's an area that you might have to go survive that can kill you because you're not used to it. Like imagine what it goes to show what the pioneers did. It's so much respectful from pioneers to go from the East Coast and just head out west, like the first ones to start heading towards like Lewis and Clark. Jesus, what an adventure that was. That's crazy that they did that. And imagine the first time somebody was walking out to the west and they heard an elk call, that scream, "Rah!" and chuckle, wooka, wooka, wooka. If you didn't know what an elk was, like you never heard it before, and you walked out and you're in the middle. Maybe you're walking in the dark with like 15 dudes holding torches, just trying to move, you know? Imagine hearing that for the very first time back in those days. I think that's where witches, supernatural witches and monsters of the woods come from. Like the first person to ever hear that had to be scared as fuck. Like, can you imagine hearing a scream from like miles away? And then the first person is even more badass. That's just like he hears that and he's like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm gonna go find out what that is. I'm not gonna live in fear anymore. And then he went. He took his bow and arrow or his spear or no, they had flintlocks by back then, but uh, their gun and they're like, I'm gonna go find out what the fuck that is. That dude's even more badass. No, it's not true. You need shelter. You need food and water and you need a heat source and you need that's your bare minimum: shelter, fire, water, and food. It's your bare minimum. Now if you train yourself enough and know enough to use that knife to build stuff to create these shelters and water and food and fire, then yes, then all you would need for a knife. But you better have a really good knife that can provide those things. You better be really good at hunting stuff. You better be really good at starving for a while. Things break down fast. Interstellar's about space time continuum. Yep, space time. Yeah, that was. Oh man, that was a good movie. You're right, Dexter. Yep, that's the movie, The Farmer Astronaut. Yep, that was a good one. That was a good one. I watched that after smoking some left-handed cigarettes. It was great. Ever watch Man versus Wild? The Bear Grylls one yourself. I want to explore the suicide forest in Japan. I do too, Dexter. I mean, I've been, I've been, I've been around a lot of death already in my life. Like, it's not something that freaks me out anymore. It's not a, I don't have a morbid fascination with it or anything of the sort. It doesn't bother me. It's not like, oh, there's a dead body. I just, okay, there's a dead body. Keep walking. It's just like seeing a street sign to me at this point, which might be fucked up in its own way. But I would like to see it. I just think that forest. I think that forest is. I love old growth forests. I think they're incredible. Just to think, that like the woods that those explorers were going through looked like that at some point. That real old stuff. Don't Logan Paul it. Fuck that guy. Yes. Shelter is key. Murdering says shelter is key. You can die from exposure in 50-degree weather. Yes, there is a couple. There is a famous case of uh, some Army Rangers down in Florida going through a ranger course and getting completely soaked, and they ended up dying of hypothermia in like 60-degree weather. Like they died of hypothermia from it in 60 degree weather. That's crazy. Like it's super important. There is some definite staples. There's also I have an issue. That's why I have an issue with like the survival bushcraft community of YouTube. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these guys are knowledgeable, but they're also you can have all the knowledge you want, but if you're fucking 350 fucking pounds and can't shoot, move, and communicate, you're not going to make it very far in these survival situations. No matter how good you are at making a fire, no matter how good you are at turning a tent or a piece of tarp into a shelter. I mean, you've got to have more knowledge. Your body has to be physically ready for that stuff. I mean, don't. That's another thing that irks me on YouTube. Yeah, I hopefully there is no Logan supporters in my stream. I don't think there would be. I don't think I don't attract many 12 to 13-year-olds. That is the Logan fan base. No, it had aliens in it. The new one that I was gonna say, Murder Inc. I was just watching JRE. Imagine that with Tim Kennedy on it. It's one of his newest podcasts on there. He has a show. It's going into its third season. It's called Finding Hitler is what it's called, and they believe that Hitler escaped and went to South America. They have been using actual target locators from CIA, special operations teams, Rangers and Special Forces, his own handpicked team, because Tim Kennedy is a Special Forces guy, um, and to track down. And they found descendants. They found descendants there. Apparently, there is actual um, German communities in South America. Like there's like 30 or 40 of them. Like they're all white. They all speak German. Everything's German. They have European structures as their house. They are super proud to bring out their Nazi medals that their grandfather, and they're all super rich. You have got to watch Murder Inc. You've got to sit down and watch the. It's hard to get through because I'm not a big fan of some of Tim Kennedy's ideas, but I am a fan of some of them. He's a different bird, and I think he plays up. I think he plays up himself a little bit too much. But uh, you got to watch it. He goes in deep on it, and I think I'm gonna start watching this series called Finding Hitler. Um, it sounds pretty crazy. That's a new conspiracy theory that just hopped into my brain recently. And it's all these muck bombs irk me. They can weave baskets super fast. Yeah, that's great. Good job. While you spent all day to weave that goddamn basket, I could have. We should have been eating some protein. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a couple bushcrafters that I like. I like watching. I think Survivor Man. I think he's a super good one. I can't remember his name. I think it's respectful because he doesn't have a camera crew. He does everything himself. I can't remember his damn name. I think MCQ Bushcraft is a really good one that I like watching on YouTube. Ray Mears, but he's got money going on safaris because I'm from Britain type of bushcraft, but his knowledge is so high. It's weird. He's a mixed bag for me. Who's it? Oh snap! E celeb in the house. Who's an E celeb there? Finding Nemo was good too. Yeah, thanks Dexter. You dick. Primitive Technology is really good too. He I watched Primitive Technology for a long time until I found out that if you turn on the closed captioning, if you turn on the closed captioning, um, he tells you what he's doing. I didn't know that. I had to go back and rewatch all his vids. I always watched him without the closed captioning on it and just kind of just watch what he was doing. Oh yeah, talking about Appalachia on the Hunt. Yeah, what's up, buddy? Are you back from fishing Lake Erie yet, Appalachia? Oh, I gotta quit doing that stupid tapping stuff. Yes, yeah, his name is Dick Pronecki. Dude, Hoss, Hoss, me and you, bro. We're of the same mind, I think. Dick Pronecki is one of my absolute heroes. He is the shit that he did. Just watching his videos, just him carving out a latch to put on his door, an interlocking bolt for his latch just to put on his cabin doors. The craftsmanship with the primitive tools, relatively primitive tools that he did blows my. I wish I could reach a level of skill. Yeah, the door hinges. Yeah, he made those out of the leather, I think. No, 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 no. He made those out of the end of a stump with roots on it. Yeah, it was incredible. The level of skill that guy had blew my mind. I wish there was one single thing in my entire life that I could master to that degree. Um, to that degree. But as much as I try to cultivate self-discipline, I don't have that. I don't have that much. And it makes me want to better myself too. I want something that I'm that good at would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, you should see. It's called Alone in the Wilderness, Dexter. You can find it on the internet. Some of them have. I think they have the full video. It's like 2 parts on YouTube. Um, tell you the truth, you should actually just go to his own website and order it off his website. I think anything like his cabin that he built up there is now a recognized national landmark. Yeah, exactly. Like he's just like, and that was like with the big cameras, the honking ones. So he'd go up there and shoot a caribou, and like once a month, I think of the when he was older, they made him move out of that place when he was like 76 or something like that, or eight or early 80s. I can't remember, late 70s, early 80s maybe. And he uh he was fine. God, that dude is an actual hero. Like you think of movies and stuff like that, and you're like, dude, that dude's incredible. Like, don't get me wrong, like Jeremiah Johnson is one of my absolute favorite movies of my entire life. I think that's one of the greatest films ever created. But Dick Pernecki was a real life Jeremiah Johnson. Went up there in his own two hands and built and carved out his. I I am here alone and I'm okay. Later, Florida. Yep, yep. Later, pirate. Later, pirate. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Appreciate it. Yeah, that he's a. I mean, he barely had vision in one of his eyes. Um, then he got injured. He got injured in the army or something in the navy. He's a veteran of something. I can't remember. I remember he's a diesel mechanic in Alaska. And yeah, Dick Pernecki's a hero of mine. I'm like he's a legitimate hero, like a real life hero, not made up. It was actually recorded. It's not like oh Achilles, bro. Everything was barely written down, and everybody just talked so much shit about he's the greatest thing in the world. I mean, who knows? I mean, the real Achilles probably I don't know didn't do hardly anything, and everybody blew it way out of proportion by now. But there's documented proof of what Dick Pernecki did. Like believable, you can put your hands on it. Proof. He's a fucking hero. He's a hero. He's the one of the manliest men of the century, I think. And he didn't even look like it. He just great dude. Sorry, big passion of mine there. You tapped into their Murder Inc. Huge rant on Dick Pernecki. Odysseus was one of my favorite stories. When you were growing up, did you go to libraries at all? Murder Inc. Was that like a thing? Now I'm not talking about like the book, the book sale stuff that used to have in like middle school. Like went to actual libraries. No, see, I did. We had several public libraries, and I was always super fascinated with Greek mythology and like these gods and monsters and Titans and stuff like that. And that's when I read. I literally myself, like back in the no internet days, literally myself had never heard about Odysseus, um, or the Odyssey or anything like that, and Achilles. And I literally was just searching around, sitting in a public library, in where was I at? This Salem, Missouri, when I lived in Salem, Missouri. And I remember sitting there reading the books. I mean, skimming through them real quick, and man, that's what got me interested in that kind of stuff. Was actually hearing stories of like the Odyssey and stuff. I was like, there was these giant one-eyed cyclops that had these. I was like, how big does a sheep? I was when I first heard that they hid on the bellies of the sheeps clinging to the wool. I imagined a regular sized sheep that we know of, and these full-grown men holding on to the belly of these regular sized sheep. And I can imagine going, how did that even work? That doesn't make any sense. And then finally later on, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. The sheep are also giant, you know, so they could hide in the wool. Yeah, that's where I learned that stuff. I literally found it on my own, just skimming through public library books. Yeah, yeah. They had to, if I remember correctly, they tied themselves to a mast to the mast pole, um and they just rode out the wind. They like tied themselves to a mast pole so they couldn't make any decisions for themselves or something like that. Or and I think a couple of the men actually jumped overboard. I can't remember. Man, now I gotta go actually read the story. Man, it's been forever. Man, that is bringing up old memories there. Murder Inc. That's man, how old was I at that? I had to be like 8 or 9 or 10 when I did those. That was definitely that was definitely 3rd grade. 3rd grade time period. So how old are kids when they're in the 3rd grade? You got a kid. Anybody who has a kid, they know those things. I don't. I never know what age goes into 3rd grade. 8. Yeah. So I was 8. I was around the 8, 7, 8, 9 years old. Probably 8 or 9 year old time frame. When I was allowed to ride my bikes all over this little sort of town that we were in. And as long as I was in by when had to be in by the time the street lights come on. That's when I had to be in. Nobody cared. You didn't have pagers. You didn't have cell phones. And then sometimes, yeah, if my buddies weren't around or they were gone and we weren't riding bikes or playing football or exploring the city, I would just ride up to the public library and walk in. And I think most of the time why I did it is because they had air conditioning. Like we didn't have air conditioning in the house, and it was hot Missouri summers and super humid. You and riding your bike, and you would just be like, I didn't need to get out of here, so I would just go into the public library. And it was always real cool in there. They had vents up in the roof that like blowed like straight down, so you could just stand underneath of it, just be like, oh. But then I'd go and check out really cool story fictional books and stuff like that. That's a that's a weird thing that kids don't get to do nowadays. Like everything's right there on their phone. Every library, every book, everything that you ever want to learn, um, is right there at the palm of your hand. But I think so. Why even leave the house? Yeah, the AC. See, Appalachia knows what I'm talking about for sure. Like a lot of man, I can't remember. I can't remember when I first got introduced to air conditioning, like how old I was. It had to be in that same time frame, like 9. I probably didn't know air conditioning from till I was like 9 or 10 years old. Like our parents just we just didn't have it where I lived. Like nobody had it. It wasn't a thing. The first things that came out were those wall units or the window units that you just cranked on high. Yeah. Yeah, the movies, I don't ever remember. I never remember really going to the movies until way later in my life, like until I was like 15, 16. Yeah, I didn't have AC till I was 26. Yeah. That's a that's a weird thing. That's a we're a Jesus, we're an old breed. Uh but yeah, man. I mean, I can remember it just being scorching hot outside like normal. And the only reason why it was cooler inside because there was shade. Like that's it. That's it. And then I can remember even, oh, I'm gonna go play down in the basement because the basement was always cooler. You go hang out in the basement, like you'd have just unfinished basement with those poles in the bottom of them, and you just hang out down there because it was cooler. Get you a glass of ice cold sweet tea, maybe a bologna sandwich with some mustard. Yeah, but public libraries are a big thing now. Now every library is kind of like a hipsterish bookstore. I mean, I know there's public libraries out there. In Germany, they don't use AC very much. Just live with box fans and open windows in the towns I saw. Yeah, yeah, that's not a. Yeah, they don't really. Of course, it doesn't get that. It doesn't really get that hot in Germany. Like, I mean, relative. I mean, now. I mean, yeah, probably now it does because of global warming and shit. But I mean, um, Germany's always been kind of a cool country. At least where I was at in Germany, a lot of the times. Very farmy areas, very a lot of rural rural areas. Let me go. Oh, since Appalachia's on here, Appalachia, I know you've got to be a fan of them. You've got to be. What is one of your favorite conspiracy theories? Let me go to the bathroom real quick. You can stay safe. Let me wrap this up. Okay. Ah, little girl. Oh, puppies. Ooh, Mr. Papas. In Germany, they don't use AC very much. Hold on, wait, did that? Oh, I guess you didn't catch it. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. All right. Well, I think Jesus, 2 hours and 24 minutes. I'm off the rails. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out and sticking with me. Uh, I'm gonna start dropping off some more ordinary tales of bravery. I got them all done, unedited, because I think I want to. I kind of want to go a podcast route. I kind of want to get my buddies to hang out. Maybe these rants and raves and podcasts and hanging out with you guys. My favorite non-important one is giant buck killed in Michigan. Can't think of the dude's name. It's supposedly faked. I think the most faked is the JFK assassination. I know exactly who you're talking about. I literally just like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was researching that guy. I was researching that guy, and yeah, some giant whitetail, and they said he was some poacher or something. Um, have they found the shooter for JFK? I don't know. There's so many theories. There's so many theories and blah 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 things. There's so much with that one, and I don't even care about the conspiracy at all, at all. That's just my personal take on it. But all right. Well, I'm going to be dropping more ordinary tales of bravery. Is what I was going to say. I've got only a couple more episodes of that. Kind of want to start getting into more of doing a podcast ish, talking with you guys, hanging out with you guys, having long conversations. Doing whatever we want to do, and having fun like we're having tonight. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Um, Stay tuned for the upload. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I will guess I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.